The following announcement has been paid for by Perched on the Top Rope.
Tell us about when you were taping at Walt Disney, and we've already formed the NWO and we formed the Wolf Pack, if you will, the Outsiders, and the wand dart, the infamous wand dart of Rey Mysterio happens, because several Orlando police were called to the area by the outside, and you know, when the story gets told, having worked for Disney, it's very hard to imagine for fans at home. Disney is a big place, and MGM Studios is a big place. The people who probably were the ones calling the police were people in and around the area that were at Disney. There is no homes behind MGM Studios that you can just see Kevin Nash throwing Rey Mysterio into a wall. So Neil, tell us the whole story from your perspective, because I'm dying to hear it. Because I was in the crowd that night. I remember how crazy it was.
Really?
But I'm dying to know from a production standpoint.
Rob, you got one of my favorites. Do you want me to go through the whole thing or just a quick version?
Hey, the show is yours, Neil. Take it away.
So the way we had it set up was there were a ring of trailers back in the back by on the opposite side of where the announcers were. So obviously you always want to have where the camera side was, you always want to have the people sitting across from the camera to make it look bigger. Well, behind there was a ring of trailers that was back there. And that was part of one of the trailers that Kevin Nash threw Rey Mysterio into the side of the trailer because he jumped on the top part of the handhold thing there, the handrest, and jumped onto Kevin Nash, which then he threw him in like the lawn dart. Anyway, it's one of my favorites because I think, Rob, my opinion is somebody from the outside that was local Disney people that were watching it live, I think they believed it was real. Mm-hmm. And that's who called, because I don't think anybody else could see it at all, period. Because it's so locked off back there. I mean, especially this day, we never let anybody back that didn't have a badge on, or we didn't know anyway. And we all knew each other very well. So highly unlikely that anybody even saw hardly any of this other than when it was transmitted. So whether it's on the big screen TV at the event or at home, that's the only way they could have saw it, really. So it was all set up a lot like Hill Street Blues, the way they do videos, where in their hallway or where in the operating room or whatever, we had a segment. We busted down the different scenarios into segments. So Kevin Sullivan and I know Keith Mitchell and Craig Leathers and myself, we walked around and wanted to find out who was going to be involved and what the scenario was going to be. So then we set up, like, I think it was 4 or 5 different sections of where these events took place. So one thing would trigger another. So as we saw the lawn dart incident, and then we'd come over to another section, and then as soon as they saw us coming, like someone would know to walk like a film and to be a traveler to follow, and then that scenario would start. And then as soon as that scenario was kind of over, then we'd go to the next one. So then the people would know that that's when their stuff was triggered to do that act right there. So that's kind of how that all went down. And all the way to the final deal where Macho Man jumped on top of the limousine and was trying to get at NWO. And that was probably one of the scariest parts, because he was hanging on for dear life for real. Luckily, they were obviously holding Macho Man on the roof, but boy, that was scary. But we walked through that very slowly on what they all wanted to accomplish out of it. And then section by section, we went through it and put everybody in place. So absolutely everybody that was involved was there after we walked through it the first time. So the second time, we brought the whole contingent in of people that we worked with that were in the videos themselves, and walked through how this is all going to go down. And one thing that we told them that they really needed to know was, in wrestling, people are going to look at the wrestlers and go, it's fake anyway. But I said, the way we're going to sell this whole thing is not for the wrestlers to make it look like it's real, but we as production people we got to be acting the whole time to act like this is legit. This is real. And I think the camaraderie and the brotherhood that we had towards making wrestling in general really brought that to a forefront to show that we are united and we are people who really want to entertain. So the acting involved with the people that were production people is just, I thought, flawless. I mean, it looked real as real gets. And that's where it all came together, really. It was awesome. It was one of my favorite sections, actually, to produce the whole time I was there.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that video. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can get all our content here at Perched on the Top Rope. And fans, remember, spoiler free's the way to be. I'm out.